Alright, so today's video, we are watching a Plat 2 tank on PC play Junker Queen, Ramattra, Sigma, Zarya, Diva. That's a hero pool, ain't it? So say hello. I wanted to share this game I played on Route 66 since it was one of my best as a tank. I started on Junker Queen, then swapped to Sigma, and then Ramattra. The first round felt pretty standard, but by round 2, everything got chaotic, and in the final rounds, one of our DPS started trolling, which made the match a lot harder. Even with that, I felt like I had a big impact throughout and made some risky plays that actually paid off. I'd love some criticism on my gameplay and decision making, especially on how I managed swaps and handled pressure during the chaotic moments. Since this game really convinced me I can play above Plat, sit back, relax, and grab your popcorn. This one's a ride. All right, we'll see. We'll see if it's a ride. This is I always say that Queen is still one of the most fun heroes to play. I wish I could play Queen more. Probably a bit underrated nowadays. All right. Gonna get up there on the Sigma. All right. So far looking good. You're just taking map control going in. Not bad at all. Good job. See, this is where, like, I've been getting better at this recently, coming from somebody who sits on the cart. But I want you to think about the possibility of taking map control up here or, like, over here. So, like, just sitting on the cart like this, like, I have to do it sometimes because I'm the only one who will push cart. But if you're not, like, just go up here. Take some map control away. You're just basically giving them a free retake. Obviously, you know, you still might win the team fight, but go take that space. Go create some space for your teammates. Go in, you know, give yourself opportunity. You're going to get more benefit from a Carnage, right, if you're close to him. Can't Carnage him right now, can you? So, to your left, you hear one. Yep, it's the Zarya. All right. Okay. You have to remember there. I like what you're trying to do where you want to axe them because you use our bubble use, but also remember that the Kiriko has cleanse. So I would approach that a little bit differently. I would actually try to pressure their Kiriko before even pushing in to force out a cleanse or force out a second bubble and then go for that play. Instead, your whole play gets ruined because you basically go in for that and then the bubble and the cleanse will just kind of basically prevent that from doing anything. So approach that by going for the Kiriko, by poking the Kiriko out. And then if the Kiriko TPs, go for the Zarya. If not, but I think you got a little bit ambitious there on that play. So just be careful of that. There's one bubble used again. There it is. Okay, now you're gonna hide. Yep. So far, I feel like you're just not creating as much space as you could in these situations, and then not playing cover. So it started with the not creating space, and the second part was you didn't play cover. Go underneath, make them have to look for you. It's going to basically cause some, you know, for them to have to play angles. On top of that, yeah, you know, Queen is not the best against Zarya, so you made the spot to Ramattra. With Ramattra, you know, Ramatra's in a unique spot right now. We've actually started to see teams, even in like pro play, use a little bit more Ramattra. Because I think that now they brought the armor back a little bit, you have a bit more survivability. You just can't do punch, block, punch, block. You have to do punch, punch, block, punch, punch, block, because of the time is now. You can't do punch, block, punch, block, punch, block, punch, block, and then get a good amount of damage. Now it's punch, punch, block, which will be a lot more damage output to you. So, but the block itself is still really strong. All right. Running it straight to the cart. Yeah, it's Route 66 is weird with that. It's hard to get a good rotate. There's your EMP. You want to go in with this? Yep. You want to be aggressive. So, if your teammates EMP that, the first thing you want to do is just be aggro right away. Took you like an extra second there, but that's fine. But you want to be aggressive because you need to pull the pressure away from the Sombra, and that's pretty much it. Like, because if you pull the pressure away, Sombra will survive that, which the Sombra did either way. But just remember, when that EMP happens, you got to go in right away. You need to put that pressure on them. That way, there's a lot more follow-up. An Ana grenade did not hit. That missed by a mile. It must be me on Ana. I mean, in that situation, you gotta go into Nemesis form. They were clearly going for you. The last thing you want to do is try to do that type of play. I get you're trying to, like, get some more damage out, but you're gonna fall over if you end up doing that. So just be, recognize the situation there and try to, maybe get an extra kill there because of being an aggro or something like that. All right. Also, let's take the... What's the other perk again in Ramattra? I forgot. I really like the shotgun one, and there's another one I like. Yep, just block. Block. There you go. You can do one punch, block. Wait, and go without. Fine with this whole rotation. Outside of, like, taking the early poke damage before you got to that point. Outside of that was really good, though. Nice help. Good job. Just hold block. You don't even have to do anything else. Hold block. Keep holding block. There you go. Yeah, so when you get low, when you're in, like, these, like, 5v2s, you don't need to punch out if you don't want to. Just hold block. You like, if you're low, that is. If you have full HP, go for it. But if you're low, play to survive there. That's going to be way more important than, like, trying to pick up that last kill feed kill. You know, what I mean by that is, like, you know how, like, you're lighting up the kill feed, you get 3 kills, but then, like, you get traded on for that last kill? Sometimes that could be the make or break of your team winning the team fight because, like, they could retake. Imagine if they got you there, you wouldn't be here for this team fight. Much different team fight, right? So, I just want you to be wary of that when you're playing. Going for some punches, I see. Not bad across the board. Good job. They went to punch and perk. Yeah, that's what I was wondering. Yeah, the shotgun and the increased emphasis for me. See, I like the shotgun one better. I think it just adds... The shotgun one just feels like it adds so much more... I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking it. But I feel like it just adds so much more, like, consistent damage than it does, like, the extra, you know, ultimate for, like, a... What is it, a half a second or something? I like the shotgun one. Just adds a little bit more damage output, more consistency. Pretty good third point here, pretty clean. Going for some kills. Your teammates are playing well too. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's much more consistent, which I like. There's your cleanse bottom run. I mean, not the cleanse, the vortex, which is good. Cassidy just ran to your teammate's straight line. Good aggression, good pressure here. I like the pressure, and yeah, a pretty good attack thus far. So. You like the anti-air vortex? I like it because it has that burst damage aspect to it. Like, even like if it's not being used for anti-air, it's really good for just that burst damage. That's why I use it. I don't even use it to, like, get, like, a fire out of the sky. You're a little bit... Okay, so I want you to look at the comp they have. They have a Zen. You're going to have to play a little bit more cover now, so just be careful, because the moment they get a Discord back on you again, you're probably going to fall over. I just want you to be wary of this. And the Bastion, too. So, I think you want to readjust your position. If you end up staying here too long, you're going to fall over in, like, 2 seconds. Yeah. I know you got the kill on the Zarya there, but that was a lot because your Cassidy did a lot of burst damage. But you have to recognize the comp you're playing against. Like, that is tough against that Bastion right there. And the Zen. You're just going to fall over almost immediately. Add a Cassidy to the mix there, and you're just getting a bunch of damage on you. So, if I see a comp like that, the first thing I'm doing is going to back up to the cave. Because at least then I can angle a little bit, have a health pack, and then eventually make my way back to where their Winston's at. Let's see what the Winston is. You'll eventually make your way back here, but it can be really tough against that comp specifically to hold that. There you go, nice pick. They have swapped. Well, they haven't. It's just I thought they swapped for a second, but it was just the Bastion. Yep. Good job disengaging the turret form. That was the correct play. Remember, play corner here, like even a little bit more close to the wall. It's just so you take not as much. You're trying to, like, limit the distance you have to travel to go to the wall, basically. Great vortex in main. Love it. I'm okay with this initially. Now you gotta back up. Just, yeah. I know I said I was okay with it initially, but now that I look at it, I would have fallen over there too, and I probably would have done the same thing. It almost feels like you got jebaited into that play, right? Like, it looked good from, like, the point of view, but you got rolled. So I saw what you saw there. I'm like, you know, I can get aggressive. Nope, falls over. Yeah, just set up for a second, but you can do this. You just gotta play not in the middle of the open, which you're opting to do right now. A lot more cover needs to be had. You can back up to the right, back up right. There you go. Now go up the stairs for a second to give yourself a vantage point to see where they're at, so you can kind of, like, make a decision on that. Because if you keep standing in the middle of the open, it's going to take you a long time to get to the points. You might even pop your ultimate here now, and I'm like, okay. I'm glad you didn't pop your ult. Yeah, you played that right. Now, is there a world where you could have popped your ultimate or the Kitsune? I think the answer is yes, because you would have gotten bursted back up. At the same time, I feel like your team had a lot of pressure on you. So you kind of went with the safe approach here, and I think that was okay. I'm okay with that decision not to ult there, even though it could have been, you know, there's a chance you could have won that. It would have been one of those risk rewards, probably like 30% chance you win it, but, like, sometimes that's, you know, what you need to win a game. So yeah, no, playing close versus the Bastion can be rough there. I mean, that's why I like for example, that's why if you go up against a Bastion, like, get the shotgun perk, right? You're gonna do more damage to hitbox, even though they nerf the hitbox a little bit. Get up there aggressive now. Remember, we talked about this with when they go up. Okay. Yeah, I think also the shotgun perk you should be taking on Ramattra. Unless I'm just, like, overvaluing that, I just feel like it's so good in comparison to, like, that extra, like, whatever it is you get on your ultimate timing. Yeah, if you're gonna fall over here, a bit too aggro. ambitious ultimate. I mean, you're down your whole team. That was a 1v5 ultimate, just so you know, and it didn't go well, which is usually going to happen in that situation. Only time I would pop a 1v5 ult there is if 3 of them are low and you can get like 3 kills, because then your teammates can retake and then you win the team fight. But if they're all full HP, there's 0 reason to do that. Now you're on to D.Va. Don't mind the swap here. Pretty much counters their whole team except for the Winston, but it's pretty good against the Winston still too, right? So that's good. How's it going? Good. How about you? So we'll see how this approach goes. Good for some limbs, I see. Yep. That was just a good play by the Winston. And again, you're opting to end up in the middle of the open. Remember, don't take too much poke here. You don't have to peek that for 3 damage on them. Do not peek that. Do not peek that. Do not take more poke. You got to give time there. There's no reason to give up a bunch of like HP and like force your teammates to have to come to heal you for that. You need to basically just reduce your poke you're doing. I can tell you right now, I think you really need to work on your position. And I know that like you hear me say that a lot in VODs, but like you're just constantly in the middle of the open, and your escape routes are so long that you take so much damage that you just end up falling over. But it looks like their team's gonna have a good attack here. There you go. And we'll see how, I mean, just a rough round there, but you know, long game. So now you're on Sigma. So let's see how this approach on Sigma goes. I don't mind Sigma against that comp. It's not the worst. Looks like the other team is also running Sigma now. I do like the Sigma pick here against that. I would actually love playing Sigma here. So good rock. Yep, rock. Pressure out their team. A little bit of a note I always remind people on when you're playing Sigma: projectile aim. And this is what I always remind myself when I'm playing Sigma. If you go from any hero that has like a fast projectile or like a, you know, hit scan, you just remember it's a projectile. It's a little bit of lead time or prediction that you need to do. Just remember that. Obviously, if they're right in front of you, you can hit scan it. But like if they're at that range, just remember you need to adjust it a little bit in how it plays. Right? That's how I look at it. Right? So.
Actuating the barrier.
Yep. Good job getting the point here. Yeah, the Zarya swap is expected. Yep, that will happen. Got to see the counter swap sometimes, right? A lot of standing around on card here. Now, there could be an argument made. Okay, I'm going to show you what I would do here. There could be an argument made that you would sit on the card here to get 3. I don't think it's going to be worth the extra 4 meters. What you need to do is this. The moment that you win that team fight, I want you to go all the way up here, take this right side, and control this area. If you want to play a little bit safer, you can control this side, but you need to take the map controls to deny the space up here, right? Your Somber's already doing that a little bit, but this is going to give you so much of a benefit of like just preventing them from doing anything. So just, that's what I would probably do. Again, you can either go this way, all the way around, takes a little bit of time, but you're just standing here doing nothing anyway. Or if you want to play it safe, you can go here, wrap around here, you can go to the back stairs, and then just like spam them there and then back away. So that's probably the 2 options I would go with. Obviously, you've opted to stand on the cart, so we'll see how it goes. My guess is because it's a long game, it's going to be fine, but we'll see. Any point to get back on that one? You're just gonna keep. I mean, if you've already kind of played in like those ranks, just you know, I think your game knowledge will help a lot, so you'll be fine, Wizard. It's gonna be just playtime. You know what I mean? Is that ability from the perk? Never seen that button. Which one? Oh yes, that is the. So that perk right there, is a perk where when you do damage, you can punch, and it will basically send them backwards. It's a really fun ability. You have to hit like your shot. So like look at the bottom. Every time it's a direct hit, you're gonna see. Now when you punch them, it will do some damage and then knock them back. I like that perk. It's really fun. I would pop your ultimate now. You need to give your teammates some time. Excellent timing on your ultimates. Good job. Perfect. That's going to get 2 more. Well played. Let's go. Love it. Great ult timing. Great accuracy there. Good job. Yup, rock. That was awesome. Nice play. That was awesome. I'm telling you, you can do a lot more of that if you work on your positioning. I'm not joking. If you work on that, you're going to see a lot more of those plays because you're going to spend more time doing that than less time trying to just survive team fights and backing up the whole time. So Try to put your shield in front of the cast. Nice. Good high new by your teammate. Try to punch the Zarya back if you can. What you're trying to do, you just wasn't hitting. Good attack. Good attack. Great play there on third. You're on Sigma again. They're opting to be on Winston again, so we'll see. Yeah. Okay. A little bit of a note on Sigma. This is going to be one of those, like, I guess how play styles are. I really would like to see you start on the high ground and drop down if you need to after, then start on the low ground. So what I mean by this is starting here, starting even here, and then kind of dropping down when you need to. I just feel like as Sigma, you don't want to be susceptible because you don't have that escape. Unless you pick the, let me look at your perks. You did not pick that perk. So if you had the levitate perk, you could argue this, but you didn't pick that perk. So like, I just want you to be wary of just standing in the middle of the open like a Sigma. It's really easy to get the kill on Sigma because you have no escape. And it forces your teammates into rough spots to keep you alive. So I would opt to either start here, a little bit more aggressive, or you can play it safe and start here, look at their comp, and then make your decision to drop down based off of that. Okay? Just a little bit of a note. Anyway. Maybe you'll readjust your positioning by then, but we'll see what happens. Okay, now you're isolated out. They're all in you. Yeah, now you're on your back foot again. This goes back to what I talked about position, where you can't really... You know that moment you had where you hit that, like, awesome, like, you know, 5K? Those moments happen more if you set yourself up in better spots. Now you being aggressive here is fine because they're down there Winston. They can't isolate you, right? And you know you can, like, push up here. So this is fine to push up here, and you would normally do that, but... You see what I'm saying? Like, where you just want to... You know, start with the correct position, and then we'll go a lot better there. Granted, you could argue the... Yeah. Did levitate much better for this map than pushback punch? Yeah. I mean, I still think it could be preference, though, because... Okay, that was something. I feel like it could also be preference, though, in the sense of, like, I wouldn't mind having the punch perk here, even though levitate perk would be solid, because the punch perk, if they're going to run dive tanks, especially, or even, like... Or especially, excuse me. Or they're going to, like, you know, swap to a Zarya. Like, I think the punch perk is still viable against that. So. Like, good aggression here, by the way. And this was good. Again, remember, this was off of your team getting a pick. And you going in and surviving with, like, solid positioning. This is how you have these moments happen a lot. But if you run in the middle of the open and don't think about your cooldowns and play like that, that's where you're going to see struggles and where you're going to have that inconsistency. And if you can fix that, you're going to be in a really good spot. At least in my opinion, a really good spot. There's your ultimates. There's the high noon under the cast. Huge pick. With getting low. You have Brock. Yeah, I mean, once they pop the Kitsune, you pretty much have to get out of there in their ultimate, so you just stayed a little bit too aggressive there after your ultimate. I would say best thing you can do is when you pop your play is try to back up immediately and set yourself up for a better spot rather than just sit there and try to do that. Time to back up, get out of there. Not worth it, not worth the overtime spawn, just keep backing up. Now, I want you to think about what we've talked about. Don't put yourself in the middle of the open right now. Put yourself in a spot that's going to allow for proper disengages and good positioning. If you sit right here, it's going to be a struggle. All right? So we'll see. This was a perfect example of that, by the way. You're just sitting in the middle of the open, and now you're getting yourself into overtime spawns by playing there. This is a perfect example of that. Like, why in the middle of the open? I wouldn't even want you to sit here in the middle of the open when it isn't overtime. Overtime spawns are longer. You need to make sure you're putting yourself in a much better spot than just standing in the middle, right? Here's an option. Spam from here. You can control this part of the map. If you need to disengage out if they push you, you can actually rotate through this way, all the way back up here. If they don't push you that way, you can back up to here, same rotation. See, now you have high ground control. Think that's a little bit too risky? Well, you can be right here. You can back up once, call for teammate rotation, end up this way. Not my favorite rotation, but it's a possibility if you're further away from them, right? But if you sit in the middle of the open, this is what's going to happen. So don't do that. All right? Again, there's going to be some, like, niche cases where, like, you'll probably push up there, but that's going to be like, oh, my Sombra's ready to the EMP and has called that, right? I didn't see your Sombra EMP, and it didn't seem like your teammate was set up, so, yep. He said calling for rotations in plat. I mean, fair, but, like, at the same time, I like to teach those rotations because how else, if it's not happening a lot in plat, you're not going to be able to see those rotations, so of course I'm going to try to showcase that, right? You know, show what's a good play there. I've watched a lot of plat bots, so I do see some good rotations. go. Yep, Brock in the back line. Love to see it. I mean, this is just a snowball now. Your team's running back. You run to the cart. Again, try to stay high ground. I should have called that out even prior. Sorry, I kind of tunneled that, but... All right, you're on Zarya now. So the classic, they have a Zarya, I go Zarya. I do this sometimes too if it's not going well. That was an EMP. Highly suggested not to solo EMP a team on... If this was a bingo card, this would be that everybody runs to the cart one by one. This is exactly what's happening. Okay. I don't know if we'll have a tip pop up during this, but remember, overtime spawns are longer, meaning that you're going to have less team fights if you feed in. Do not feed in, take a team fight as 5. Obviously, if there's trades happening and you have opportunity there, fine. Do not go in one by one to the cart. Right there, you should have backed up a lot sooner or died on the cart prior to that. Now you're snowballed, right? Yep. They're just rolling the points. Your team spent the last, I'm not even joking, like 3 minutes or 2 minutes just running back to the point without even remotely taking a team fight together. Gotta take those team fights together. Okay. All right, Soldier. Did they Helix Rocket or something? What? No, one second. I gotta see what just happened to Soldier. How did... Huh? Be careful. Play backside of cart. Did one DPS start trolling that? Yeah, I guess did they get mad? They had a bad defense, but like, this is a close game. Like, your team also had a good attack. Why would you start getting, you know what I mean? Like, all right, good job there. Good push. Starting with Zarya. Maybe they, what if there was just a thing where like, because they seem to be playing normally now. Did they just like, did they think that was an entrance out of there and just ran right out? Remember what we talked about earlier with map control? I still think there's opportunity for map control here, even with the being towards overtime. Reaper no shift. Play positioning. It's going to be back to the right. Back to the right is where your position is going to be. It's because that's where the health pack is. You can still do the same damage you're doing now, but back right is where you want to end up at. Yep, they're going to grind you down there if you do that. You have a health pack here. I'll show you very quickly why that's happening. You have a health pack here. You have cover. You need to utilize cover more. You need to utilize the map. That's one thing that you've made. It's been a struggle. It seems like is for you to like maintain that control. You got to get a little bit better at that in general. All right. You end up losing the team fight there, but we'll see how this goes. Where's Sully? He's currently over there, just hiding. No, he's on like a different chair. He's cleaning himself. Might have spilled coffee. He spilled some of the coffee, so maybe I don't know. Here we go. Okay. As long as you have a bubble there, I'm okay with you going for a slight kill. Just be careful of getting flanked during that. But you knew the Zarya was on you anyway, and the Zarya didn't have the energy. That's good. Not bad. Yep. Cover. Remember cover. This is important. Okay, you got a kill, you can go back in. Good pick. Good job. Nice play by your team. Should be a dub. Unless something happens, someone gets hecked up here, should be a dub. Good job. All right. Heck yeah, ended up picking up the win. So, just to kind of showcase this here very quickly, you have a lot of things that are good here, right? Which is the good news, okay? When you have moments that are good, but you really need to work on where you position yourself every team fight. You're getting yourself basically killed a lot of the time by just standing in the middle of the open and not utilizing cover. The moment you utilize cover more as a tank and realize that you can not have to use all your cooldowns to keep yourself alive because you're just standing in the middle of the open, the better. Work on that. You'll be good to go. We gave a lot of tips during that. Apply that knowledge on every map. You'll be fine. You got this. So good job towards the end there. Made some cool plays. Fix that stuff, and I think you'll see some improvement. Like the video. Hit the like button. Subscribe to the YouTube if you haven't. Leave a comment. All that helps. You want to go on here, my Discord, to submit a VOD and watch the next video. They're awesome. With that being said, hope you have an amazing day / night.